So yesterday, Rockstar made a new Newswire post talking about what was going to be coming out for the rest of the week. Also, the stuff that was released yesterday, which was the Pegasi Vortex, as well as a couple discounts. But what they also touched on is the Halloween update that's going to be coming out in just a few short days on Friday. And you might not think about it, but that Newswire actually revealed a good bit of information about what we can come to expect for the next month, maybe even looking into December, and even the beginning of the year in January of 2017, as well as we're going to be looking at some new information that's been released today that, like I said, could give us a pretty good idea of the timeline for new content arriving in Grand Theft Auto Online for the rest of 2016 and maybe even 2017. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into this and let's get it started. All right, so there was three big things that Rockstar kind of gave away on this Newswire. Number one was the fact that it looks like this current event week or weeks is going to be ending on November 7th. So we obviously know that yesterday we got the Vortex and those anniversary discounts, but on Friday is when the Halloween stuff is going to be arriving, and that looks to be going through November 7th. Now, Rockstar haven't said if the Halloween content is going to be disappearing, if it's going to be time locked, but I would imagine that very similarly to the 2015 content, it will be going away at a certain date, and that date right now looks to be November 7th, which is 2 weeks. So it looks like Rockstar is doing a 2-week pattern of these events as far as releasing vehicles go. And as I mentioned, that Newswire also revealed that we're going to be getting at least one new vehicle, the Sanctus, and a new adversary mode, Lost versus Damned. So the Newswire post was a little ambiguous. They said coming this Friday, the new Sanctus motorcycle, Lost versus Damned mode, and more. So they kind of left an open-ended interpretation to what that could mean. Could we be seeing more than just the Sanctus bike? There's a couple other vehicles in the files that definitely have a Halloween vibe to them, like the Tornado Rat Rod, as well as the Yuga Classic, which can turn into almost the Mystery Machine. So it was kind of odd to see them only talk about the Sanctus motorcycle. So again, I'm kind of going to leave that to an open interpretation that we may be seeing more than just the Sanctus, and that's what the more might mean. But a lot of people are curious as to what's coming next. And like I said, because of the information we received, we can kind of get a better idea of when we might be getting new content past the Halloween update. So let's say Rockstar continues on their trend of making these event weeks 2 weeks long. So this next one is going to be ending on November 7th, meaning the one after that would likely start on November 8th. And then the one following that would likely start on November 22nd. So that's pretty cool. It looks like the entire month of November is going to be filled up with new content. And what new content is going to be coming? Well, let's assume that Rockstar's Newswire is correct and that on Halloween, we're only going to be getting the Sanctus motorcycle and the Lost and the Damned. That means come November 8th, we still have 4 vehicles left in the files to be released, as well as 2 new adversary modes. So those 4 vehicles would be the Esky, it would be the Shotaro, it would be the Yuga Classic, and it would also be the Tornado Rat Rod. So that actually matches up really well. Since we have 4 vehicles left, 2 adversary modes, in 2 weeks, essentially you would just divide everything by 2. In the first November event week, we would see 2 vehicles and an adversary mode, and then in the second November event week, we would see the same thing. 2 vehicles and an adversary mode. So honestly, that would be pretty cool, especially if Rockstar do some awesome stuff that they do along with the event weeks. Like this week, for example, they did 30% off 15 or so vehicles in the game. That's awesome. That's super random. We obviously know that they're giving us the free money as well, the $250,000 bonus, which is kind of nice. So to answer your question right there, what is coming out after the Halloween update? Well, it looks like we're just going to be getting more of the unreleased vehicles that are still within the files of the game, as well as some new adversary modes and special event week bonuses that Rockstar have been doing. However, there is some more information that I need to report on for you guys today regarding what could be coming out after November, because eventually Rockstar is going to run out of content, and Yan2295 actually has some information for us. So he posted this on Twitter as well as the GTA forums today, so I'll leave a link to his Twitter in the description. So he states, "Hello, let's get straight to the point. There's one update left for this year. I assume it will also include the content of the Christmas surprise that will be later released via tunables if there's anything new this year. That is, of course, if Rockstar don't push back this update as they have pushed back the biker update." Okay, so let's kind of break that down a little bit. Obviously, Yan talks about one update left this year, and we're assuming that this update is going to happen in the month of December. That would make the most sense, especially if it's going to contain the content for the Christmas surprise update. Now, we're all assuming that this update that's going to be featured in the month of December is going to be the high-level, high-reward, high-risk vehicle importing, exporting system that I've kind of been talking about here on my channel recently. And Yan also confirmed that that is the update he is talking about as well on Twitter. So that's actually pretty cool, and I would assume that maybe towards the end of November, we might get some information on that. I'm assuming Rockstar would want to do, very similar to what they do with Bikers, include a trailer, include some screenshots and some information. But would it possibly be delayed? That could actually be pretty scary. What if we went this year in Grand Theft Auto Online without Christmas content because the update was pushed back to, let's say, the new year, January or February? That would be so disappointing, because even though the snow and the Christmas content and the holiday items are so small, it is one of my favorite updates in online. So that would be extremely disappointing to see something like that actually be pushed back and moved. And I don't think that's going to be the case, but still, hearing that does have me kind of worried. Now, we also got some more information from Fun MW2, who posted this on the GTA forum site. He says, "I have found something, but it's not really that interesting. I think it's interesting. You guys might find it as well." So he states, "As you know, there's 3 unreleased adversary modes that is ready for releasing, such as Deadline, Lost versus Damned, and an extra one called Kill Quota. Now, this Kill Quota adversary mode has the exact same hashes as Lost versus Damned, meaning that when you load Kill Quota, you actually load the file for Lost versus Damned that sets the spawn locations and weapons, etc. If it's a mistake, then they have to fix it via tunables or a new update, which means that this Kill Quota mode is after Deadline and after Lost vs. Damned. Most likely, it's planned to be released with a new update like Drop Zone was." Okay, so that new information right there might actually switch up what we might be seeing in November. Is it possible that instead of seeing 2 adversary modes in November, we're only going to see one, and that being Deadline, which of course we know is the Tron-based adversary mode, likely when the Tron bike, the Shitaro, is set to release as well. So that could be pretty interesting, and that could possibly mean that Kill Quota is going to be saved for whatever update comes out in December. Once again, likely being the high-level, high-reward, import-export DLC. So it kind of has me wondering what was going on with this Kill Quota adversary mode, if it was meant to be released. Maybe Rockstar didn't finish it in time. Maybe what we're seeing right now is just a placeholder, and it will be released in the next update. The Bikers update was kind of interesting. It felt rushed on Rockstar's end, not like the content that was inside, but the way they just presented it to the community. Like, all they made was 2 little newswire posts about it, and then boom, it dropped. Typically they release a trailer, have lots of other information, but this one just seemed to be really weird in the way they went about releasing it. So once again, I'm not really sure what sort of impact that's going to have, but at the end of the day, it's in the files, so we know we're going to be getting it sooner rather than later. Now, the last bit of information that we're going to see today is actually something very interesting. It comes from a user, It's Jack from YT, who makes a very interesting point. So he or she, I don't know who they are, states, "There are 5 stunt races which haven't been used as premium races yet, and if each one lasts for 1 week, that means that we will run out of premium races on December 5th, which could mean that a new update is possible on December 6th, or maybe even the 13th. So It's Jack from YT actually brings up a really good point, because if you haven't noticed, each week Rockstar uses one of their created stunt races as a premium race, and each week they shift to another one, and they have not repeated the pattern yet, which means, like he mentioned, in 5 weeks they're going to run out of premium races, or they're going to run out of stunt races to use for those premium races. Now, there always is a possibility that at that point they'll just start over and keep doing them again, kind of similar to how they did with the time trials, how the time trials just repeat and now we're doing the same ones over and over and over again. But if his theory is correct, that is interesting that we could see an update maybe on the first Tuesday of December, which is the 6th, or even the second Tuesday of December, which is the 13th, which would not only, 1, be perfect because it kind of lines up with the content we've got left, but number 2, that would also be perfect timing for Rockstar to include the Christmas content in this update as well. It would also make it about 2 full months after the release of Bikers, which is kind of the same pattern we've experienced with other DLCs in the game. Rockstar release a big DLC, and then it's typically about, 6 to 8 weeks before we see another big DLC. Now, one other thing before we go here, a lot of people are talking about 2017, asking, is it going to be, another year full of awesome GTA Online updates? And Yan has replied to a couple people on Twitter stating that it will probably start to slow down, and that in 2017 we will see less updates than we did in 2016, which obviously makes sense. This is probably going to be the year of Red Dead Redemption 2017. So I would imagine that instead of seeing so many constant updates, we'll maybe see 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 big updates in 2017, just not as many. So like I said, I think there's a lot of cool content that's on the horizon. Some of that stuff coming up very, very soon. Some of it looks to be coming up slightly soon, a little bit down and further down the pipeline, but it's got me excited nonetheless. And hopefully this gives you a better idea of what to expect for the rest of October, November, and hopefully December, and maybe even a little bit of 2017 in Grand Theft Auto Online. It's going to be a great rest of the year. I'm pretty excited, and I know a lot of you guys are as well. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, though. If you did go on and enjoy the video, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.